Road trip, day 7. We hit the pavement, full speed.
I'm Rick, and this shut the heck up, you stinking boosters. For your sanity. This is the shack.
Hello and welcome. Day 7 is a push, to say the least. I have about 11-hour drive ahead of me, and I have 2 stops. First stop is 6 hours away, and I think 4.5 hours from there to the next stop. It is going to be a push. I was up bright and early, 5:30 in the morning, because the first stop 6 hours away. Load up the truck, pack everything away, go to the office, drop off my key from my room, grab me my traveler's mug of coffee, which is about 3 cups of coffee, and out the door we go. Filled up the truck the night before. Don't have any time for stops. We got to get some miles behind us. And when I leave Greenville, I get on the 11E down to 81 South to the, I think it's the 160, but I take the 160 over to the 25E. 25E is a beautiful, beautiful drive. I could have went all the way down to Knoxville, got on the 75 and headed up, but that was a little bit too far out of the way, and I got to get there as soon as possible, trying to save time. And actually the scenic route is a beautiful route, and it was more direct than actually going down further and coming back up. Beautiful drive. We go through, I think it's the Cherokee Reservoir, Cherokee Lake. It's just beautiful driving through there. Go on up. As I start to exit Tennessee to go into Kentucky, we go through the Cumberland Gap Tunnel. Well, here's a video, and I'm going to talk as we drive through the Cumberland Gap Tunnel. Very, very cool. You enter the tunnel on Tennessee, you exit the tunnel in Kentucky. Check this out. Now, the Cumberland Gap Tunnel was completed in 1996. This is only one of 2 tunnels that actually go from one state to another. The other tunnel is on the Interstate 77, US Route 52, that goes between Virginia and West Virginia. Now, this again was completed in 1996, and it took the place of a section of highway through the Cumberland Gap that had earned the nickname Massacre Mountain due to its hazardous design and high rate of traffic accidents and probably fatalities, because I'm telling you, if you fall down the cliff, yeah, it's not a very good thing. So we're cruising into Ohio, get to Cincinnati, up to Dayton. From Dayton, you kind of shoot over to the northwest and go up to Arcanum, Ohio. Now, when I pulled in Arcanum, Ohio, this is the little clip of where I'm at. This is the cross street, and right here, this is the shop I actually went to. But when I talk, I'll just kind of scroll around and you're going to see a little area around it. So when I got there, I actually got there about 20 minutes earlier than I thought. Because when you're driving through these little towns and these back roads, you're only going maybe 50, 55. You don't want to take a chance of going any faster, because these little town sheriffs, they love out-of-state people, and they'll nail you for anything. So every time you go into the town, you have to slow down 35, 25 mile an hour, go through the stop signs. I love these little towns. I wish I could have had time to stop and actually walk around, take some pictures. It's sad when you go through these little towns and you see some of the buildings boarded up, vacant, dilapidated. but there's just not enough economy to get people in there to fill those buildings anymore. It's sad. I mean, it's beautiful. I love the old architect. But you have to slow down. You go through these towns, get out of them, you speed up again, 50, 55. Now the locals have passed me and like, that's fine. I don't know this area. I'm not taking a chance of getting a ticket, so I'm staying within the speed limit. I got there a little earlier and I anticipated. Text the guy, I'm in town now, and he goes, oh, I was just about ready to finish my lunch. Let me head out. I'll be there in 15 minutes. So I kind of waited around for him to show up. When he arrived, we went inside. I like authentic slate chalkboards, vintage chalkboards. These two that I have, I bought for my grandchildren so they could kind of get that feel for something different, not all computer junk. They can actually get on, draw, write. They can race it off and do more. I actually have chalk and colored chalk, but I got a special chalk and I don't need to go into that. It's just something that was very desired, I would say, is actually made in Japan. That company went out of business. People actually hoarded the stuff until a person in China, of all places, bought the tooling, bought the rights. Now it's made in China under the same everything. And that's what I have. I bought a few boxes of the white chalk, and I bought a box of the colored chalk for my grandchildren to use to draw and stuff. But yeah, that's a whole nother story. So another side story. Before I left for this trip, I was going to purchase a chalkboard that was, I think, 28 by 36 or 32, good size, bigger than the two that I have now. But I had been watching that particular chalkboard for over a year, okay? A full year plus. When I went on, 2 days before I left for my trip, to go on eBay, talk to the vendor there, I was going to ask them, if I purchased this, can you hold it for about 7 to 10 days and let them know what my plans are and what I'm going to do before I drive up to Pennsylvania. And that was a 7-some-hour drive from where I was staying at. That day it sold. I'm like, oh my God, I've been watching this for a year. So I'm like, I'm heartbroken. I wanted that chalkboard. That was one of the bigger ones. You couldn't find anything that was bigger under $400 or $500. So I am looking as I am doing my searching in Tennessee, and I found this in Arcanum, Ohio. That is a 60 by 42 chalkboard. Remember, the 28 by 32 or 36 was $250, but it had a frame, and it had the thing on the back of the frame that was from, I think Pennsylvania was a quarry or something back in the day. They actually harvested all of this slate from for the chalkboards. So that maybe gave a little more value. I don't care, I just want a big chalkboard. Well, I got this 60 by 42 for $180. $250 for this small one, $180 for this massive one. But it doesn't have a frame, but that's fine. I have already purchased some light walnut that I'm going to use to make a frame for that, some 8/4 walnut. It was like $230 for that, so yeah, it's an expensive frame, but it is a big chalkboard, and I need a lot because it's 2 inches thick, 8/4 material, and I want them about 1.5 inches to 2 inch frame. Because that is very heavy, so I got to make a very stout frame. Yeah, not cheap, I'm telling you, it's killing me on the wood. That's what I purchased at my first stop. Now, he had some larger ones, which is what I originally was going to get, but we couldn't fit it in my truck. It was too wide. He had a 66 inch. I wanted that one. Wouldn't fit in my truck. I actually had to move the passenger seat all the way forward. My seat, I moved up a little bit, a couple clicks, and we angled it in so, the seats are like this. Now, seats are this way, so the chalkboard fit in there, and height-wise, it barely fit. I mean, barely. We're good to go. We got it loaded up, got it paid for, and I am back on the road. I think I went somewhere out of town, topped off my gas tank because I didn't want to stop because I got a 4.5-hour drive now to Bowling Green, Kentucky for my next stop. And this is something I purchased for my shop. Now, when I was in Tennessee and I was looking for this particular tool, one popped up And I'm trying to get these guys, I'm telling them, I am going to be leaving here in a couple of days. I can pick it up then. If I will pay you the full amount now via whatever, Venmo, PayPal, whatever the hell you want to use, I'll use and pay for it now. Just hold it. And nobody would do it. No, first come, first served. Dude, please, I want this. Nobody would do it. This was left basically after everything was sold because it looked very dirty. Now in the pictures, I really thought it was just kind of somewhat of a shed with some tools out there. The guy went out there and I think he used it to square up material to go on his lathe. I could see a lathe in the background of the pictures. So he was a turner. The tool itself was a joiner. Very dirty, piles of the shavings all around it. It wasn't very well clean or taken care of. And I'm like, dang, more money than I want to spend because it didn't look that good. There were two Powermatic 8-inch joiners that went fast. One had the 3 blades, and I thought, well, I think he wanted $1,500 for it. It had the 3 blades, and I was thinking, well, I know Powermatic's good, and I would just buy the dang Helix head from Bird Tool and put it on there because I already know how well they work with my planer. I don't want anything to do with 3 or 4 blades. I want the Helix head on there because it is quieter and it does a phenomenal job. Well, that one sold the day before I was getting ready to leave. I'm like, damn, but this other one was still there. So down the Bowling Green I go, and I run into 3 accidents. First accident was on the 75 South, I think it was. It was just before I got into Cincinnati, Ohio. Single car rollover, and it's like 3 o'clock, I think it was, in the afternoon. So I got through that one. I got down a little further to, I think somewhere in Kentucky. I don't remember. I'll put it in the video or something if I remember. But I got another accident. And the fact that I'm coming into the evening time, you're going to hit traffic going through the towns, people going home and getting off work. I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying. So this was actually, I think it was like 6:30 at night, just before I get to my final stop. And I had another accident I didn't take a picture of. I'm like, I'm just focused, I gotta get through. Check this video out of this one. I'm like, this is crazy. A big rig rear-ending another rig. The worst thing you could do is rear end, but if you rear end a flatbed hauling a huge I-beam for a bridge or something, that's just like insane. Talk about hitting a brick wall. Oh my God, that big beam has no give at all. It's not rubber, baby, I'm telling you. All this weighed down. Every time I hit one of these slowdowns, I text the guy about the joiner. I hit another slow, we got another accident. He goes, no worries. Hit this last one, I said, oh my God, I hit another one. And I'm like an hour away. I finally get there about 7:30 at night, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, so apologetic. And the guy was kind of I hate to say it, but it was kind of a jerk. Every place I had been, I had met nothing but extremely, extremely nice people. This guy, I don't know if he's just having a bad day or whatever, but he just wasn't nice, kind of a jerk. I think maybe when I backed the truck up, he saw my California plate. He's like, hate Californians. And yeah, I know. We shouldn't be judged, but we are. And that's why I'm leaving, because I'm tired of this crap state. When I leave, I bring my love of country, love of God, and love of my Second Amendment with me. So I am nothing like 80% of this shithole state. I am completely different because I was born in Missouri, so I have that early upbringing of hunting and fishing and living off the land, basically. I have nothing I regret growing up. I just regret being in the state for the last 15 years. I should have left 15, 20 years ago. But it is what it is. So I just think he saw my plate and it was like his mood changed and he didn't like me. So we take the joiner apart because I didn't have my trailer. I had my pickup truck and I had my cover on it, so I needed to make sure it was underneath it because I didn't know if I was going to hit any more rain or anything. I wanted it under there because I didn't want the tool to get rained on. Thank you, Lord, it did set below it, so I just covered it up, locked it up, and I was done. And I headed out. So 5:30 in the morning till 7:30, almost 8 o'clock at night when I left his place, It is a non-stop push day. I am beat. I think I went somewhere, got something to eat, drove a little bit further because now I had to be in Arkansas, which was only, I forget how many hour drive away, but that's the next stop, next day. So we'll leave it at that. We are done here. I'm just trying to let you guys know everything is going on. Been crazy. So that is it on this video. Thank you so much for watching. Be blessed. Take back your shack. Build up for your sanity. We continue. We still got more days left, and we got one more thing to pick up and one more incident that happens that was very, very costly. See you next video.